Married at First Sight by Gu Lingfei. Chapter 7. Zachary got into the Rolls-Royce and instructed in a husky voice, "Don't forget to bring around the national car I bought." It was a facade to fool his wife. What was his wife called again? Oh, right. What's the name of the missus again? Zachary could not be bothered to dig out the marriage license. Oh, it was likely Nana did not return it to him after he showed her. Anyhow, the marriage license was not with him. The bodyguard replied. "The young missus is Serenity Hunt. She's 25 this year. You might want to remember that." Mr. Zachary had an exceptional memory, but when it came to people who he was not fond of, he jammed them out. This was especially true with women. He probably would not know the lady's name even if they met every day. "Sure. Got it," Zachary responded offhandedly. Judging by Zachary's tone, the bodyguard knew he would not be bothered to learn the young missus' name. Refusing to waste more brain cells on Serenity, Zachary slumped against the seat and rested his eyes. The journey from Wiltspoon Hotel to Brinfield took 10 minutes. With the luxury sedan convoy stopping at the neighborhood gate, Zachary proceeded to drive the national MPV into the neighborhood. Although he could not remember his bride's name, Zachary was not going to forget about the property he bought. Soon, he arrived at the entrance to his home and took notice of a pair of familiar slippers at the door. They seemed to be his. Why were they thrown out? It must be Serenity. Doing a slow burn, Zachary scrunched up his chiseled face. He was grateful to the girl for saving Nana at first, but all that good impression was lost following Nana's constant praising of her and nagging to marry her. Now Zachary believed Serenity was a conniving person. Although he gave in to Nana to marry Serenity in the end, Zachary drew the line there. He planned to keep his identity hidden after marriage to be the judge of Serenity's character. If Serenity passed the test, he would accept her as his wife forever. If he were to find out that she was a scheming woman, then she should get what was coming. No good ever came to those who played games with Zachary. Whipping out his keys, Zachary tried to unlock the door, but his attempt was futile. He was less than happy when he realized that the woman had locked him out. This was his house. He let her in, and yet she locked her out. Seeing red, Zachary lifted his foot and kicked the door. Bang! Zachary was also trying to get Serenity on the phone. Because of the earlier incident, Zachary saved Serenity's contact and added the spousal title as a reminder. Otherwise, it was likely that he would delete Serenity's contact once more as he had trouble putting a face to her name. Serenity was startled awake by the kick on the door. Who was pounding the door in the middle of the night? How was she supposed to sleep? Serenity was a grump in the morning, not to mention now that she was woken up by the noise. Throwing off the covers, Serenity stormed out in her pajamas. Since her phone was in the room, she had no idea that Zachary called. "Who is it? Why are you knocking on my door when you should be sleeping?" Serenity opened the door as she ran her mouth at the guy standing outside. She was stumped the moment she got a good look at the person's face. Serenity stared at Zachary's face for a while before getting a hold of herself and putting on a smiling face. She embarrassedly uttered, "Oh, it's you, Mr. York." Zachary's rage was already at an all-time high as she did not pick up his call. Brushing Serenity off, Zachary walked past her and entered the house with a sour face. Serenity stuck her tongue out behind his back. This was the after effect of marrying at first sight. She popped her head out the door to look. It was a good thing the neighbors were not awakened by Zachary's vigorous slamming. Spotting the slippers by the door, Serenity bent over to put them back inside the house before locking the door behind her. I got home at midnight. I thought you wouldn't be coming back since you weren't home by then. That's why I locked the door. Serenity explained. I was alone at home, so I thought I should put your slippers at the door just to be safe. People will know there's a man in the house if they see a man's slippers. They wouldn't dare try anything. No bad guys scared Serenity as she practiced self-defense. Nevertheless, it did not stop Serenity from putting home safety measures into place. Sitting on the sofa, Zachary stared icily at her with deadpan yet penetrating eyes. The nights in October were chilly, to begin with. Not only did Serenity feel the chill from his piercing glare, but it also felt like winter was brought forward. It was freezing. I'm sorry, Mr. York. Serenity brought his slippers over and placed them by his feet while apologizing. She should have called to ask if he was coming back. It took a while before Zachary coldly blurted, I said not to mind me, but this is my home. I'm not happy that you locked me out. I'm sorry, Mr. York. I'm sorry. Next time, I'll call in advance to check if you're coming back. I'll lock the door if you have no plans to return. After a brief silence, Zachary uttered, I'll inform you when I'm going on business trips. I'll be home every day unless I tell you otherwise. Don't call me. I'm a busy man. I don't have time to take your tiresome calls. Oh, Serenity answered. He could have the last say since this was his place anyway. He was the boss. Mr. York, do you want any supper? Since Zachary worked until late, Serenity thought he must be hungry. Hence, she asked out of kindness. I don't have a habit of midnight snacking.